Hi guys, this is Vidas. Welcome to another tutorial, learn Vidas session, and this is part 2 of the tutorial of learning some useful chord progressions. Welcome Niels to the live chat. Everyone else who is joining also say hello. That's very nice. Very nice to see you watching it live. Hopefully you have already watched part 1 where I taught you 7 different kinds of basically progressions: 1 4 5 1, 1 6 4 5, 2 5 1, 1 5 6 4, 1 4 1 5, 1 flat 7 4, and circle of fifths. That was the last one in part 1. And today we will start with some interesting progression. 1 major 4, minor 4, and 1. Before I do this, let me say hello to Dawn. Hello. Welcome. I hope you have the keyboard at hand, okay, so that you could join me in practicing. I will show you exactly what I'm playing with my keyboard view right here. So, all right. Yeah, if you haven't watched, by the way, if you haven't watched part 1 yet, don't worry, you can do it later, because all those progressions are not getting more difficult and difficult. No, each of them is separate and independent of the others, so you could watch them from various orders, from the start, from the end, in the middle. You could start even from today, right? It will benefit you a lot. So okay, 1 4 minor 4 and 1. That's how it sounds, okay? But before we do that, let me check the registration. We are at Goch Pfarrkirche Sancta Maria Magdalena, Seifert organ 2015. We don't need a very active registration, just perhaps 8 and 4, Montre 8 on the grand organ, maybe these two stops with the bourdon would be enough. Maybe password. And by the way, you don't even need pedals right now, because I will teach you the manual technical stuff. All right, so let's do it. 1 in C major. We're in C major. In C major chord. That is 1 tonic, right? The next is subdominant, like this. Minor subdominant, or minor 4. This type of progression or cadence is best used at the end of the piece, at the end of the improvisation. It's like amen. You can hear the ending, because tonic and subdominant and tonic again, it's like a plagal, it's called plagal cadence, where subdominant and tonic are used. And after the subdominant you have minor subdominant, which basically works in C major harmonic mode. This is natural major mode. This is harmonic major mode with flat 6, A flat. Therefore, when we have subdominant chord with the flat, A flat, that reminds us of the harmonic mode. So, like this. So with both hands it would sound like this. Hi Sean, good to have you in the live chat. Hope your organ will get a good upgrade. Let us know what it is, what kind of upgrade. All right. So now, like before, we have 3 different versions of each chord because they are 3-note chords. So basically, every one of those 3 notes, C, E, or G, could be in the melody on the top, in the soprano, so to say. We started C octave in the soprano. We could do, of course, the 3rd in the soprano next, like this. Subdominant, minor subdominant, and tonic again, like this. And the last one would be, maybe this is a little high, so we could do this. G on the top, the 5th on the top, tonic, subdominant, minor subdominant, and tonic. All right. If you have any questions, feel free to ask right now about that. If it's difficult enough, if it's easy enough, and I will take a sip of water from my Secrets of Organ Playing mug, you see. The link to the mug is available in the description of this video, by the way, if you want to get one. All right, this is good. All right, so next one. Next progression would be like this. 1, 5 of 5, 5 and 1. Let me explain everything. All right, 1 is tonic. 5 would be the dominant chord, the G major chord in C major, G major. Are you with me? Let me see. Yeah. For some reason, Dawn's messages. It's a funny thing. For some reason, Dawn's messages require moderation. Then, can you tell me why? Maybe because of this little X at the end of the message, Dawn? You see? So, it's suspicious. No X. No X, please. Next, so 1 tonic, C major chord. Now 5 would be the G major chord, but 5 of 5 is the dominant of the dominant of the G major chord, right? This is the dominant, but 5 scale degree of the 5 of the dominant is 2nd scale degree chord, but it has to be major. So basically it's 2nd scale degree major chord altered with alteration with raised 4 with F sharp, D major chord basically. So 1, 5 of 5, dominant 5, and tonic. Okay, yeah, hard is probably enough enough Dawn for these messages. Excellent. One, 5 of 5, D major chord, 5, G major chord, and tonic. Now remember 3 versions, starting C on the top, E on the top, and G on the top. Okay, let's do this way. E on the top, the third, like this. 5 of 5, and 5 and 1. Let me remind you of how the chords have to be connected, right? If the first chord is 1 and the second chord is actually major 2, right? They are basically a second apart. They are a major second apart. So, in order to avoid any forbidden intervals, major or minor, parallel, basically, parallel perfect fifths or parallel perfect octaves. So we have to move the voices in opposite direction. Right hand goes down, left hand goes up, or vice versa, right? If it's the other way, like this. Because both C major and D major chords, they don't have any common notes, because they are so close to each other, right? C major and D major. C major and G major, they have one common note because they are spread a fourth or a fifth apart, right? C major and E minor, for example, they have two common notes, E and G, because it's a relationship of the third. They are major or minor third apart, and they're very closely related, basically, both chords, right? But from C major to D major, it's like going from F to G, from subdominant to the dominant, and therefore we have to move to the opposite direction. Bass goes up, other voices goes down, and then after this we connect normally. So this version where E was on the top still goes down, like this. Now the last one, G on the top. You see how close the voices are, but still the bass goes up from C to G to D, and 3 upper voices go downward. Then dominant, like this. The bass can go downward, like this, also. As long as at least one voice is stationary or moving in the opposite direction, the bass can go downward as well. All right. Did you follow this? Okay. Sean writes that he has a brand new or 2 touch screens, right? Nice. And additional keyboard echo, which is mounted above the swell. Oh, 3D printers made keyboard mounts. Very nice keyboard mounts. Very nice. That's a fancy invention, 3D printer, and that is very useful if you can make those keyboard mounts for your echo manual. So you have now 4 manual setup, like cathedral organ. Very nice. Now you have to play some English cathedral music, right? I'm thinking or Irish, or in general, basically from that region. Scottish also, yeah. But mostly, I think English cathedral music is most well known, right? All right. Next would be 1, 6, 2, and 5. All major chords, interestingly. So let me do a demonstration what I'm talking about. 1, 6, 2, and 5. Look at the bass. 1, 6, 2, and 5. Oh yeah, St. Mary's Radcliffe samples. I hear very good reviews about it. It's very sonorous and very reverberant and very good sample set. Yeah, go for it. 1, 6, 2, and 5. 1. Okay. C major chord. Next would be A major chord. Two and 5. After that we could actually end on the tonic. Still, right? It's nice. Like this. Let me explain what each chord means here. 1. After 1, why do we need major 6? How it's connected to C major? Major 6 is the dominant of the dominant of the dominant. Can you follow me? Dominant of the dominant of the dominant. Basically, it's the dominant of the major chord of this, which is next. And then after this becomes the dominant of the G major. So it's the chain of the dominant chords, like this. Like this. It's not very often found progression like this, but it's very useful if you want chromatic music. We could follow actually like this. I'm doing a sequence, but it's a little too advanced perhaps. So instead of this, we do this. 1, 6, major 6, major 2, 5. Like this. Alright, let's do a version starting from this position, E on the top. Like this. One more time. 1, 6, 2, 5. 1. Very nice. And maybe another one would be starting not from this position, but from this position. G on the top, right? So 1, major 6, major 2, 5. 1. Lovely. Lovely. And you could do, all kinds of figurations. We're just talking harmony here, but if you are confident enough with these chords already, right? You can start improvising. You can start adding some interesting melodic or rhythmic or both textures, figurations, basically, to create something like this. Remember, like this. Like this. Remember Bach's prelude from Well-Tempered Clavier number 1? I could play this all day long, yeah, with different chords than Bach, perhaps, or similar chords like Bach used, create sequences, cadences, everything together, right? So we could do something like this with this progression: 1, 6, 2, 5, and 1. So instead of playing 3 notes in the right hand part and 1 in the left, you have to play 2 in the left and 3 in the right, because it's a 5-part texture with this specific prelude. Like this. You see? 2 in the left, 3 in the right. Same thing here. So we will start like this. Yeah, the prelude can be quite simple or quite complex, as complex or as simple as you want. It's just an idea. And different meter also, it could be in 3/4 meter, and then it would be a different model from specific historical examples, than not this one, for example. All right. But yeah, I encourage you to take another step towards improvisation if you basically want to improve not only your harmony skills, but also go one step further into improvisation, to apply those harmony exercises to your new textures and expand them into little preludes like this. Welcome, Jason. You are an organist yourself. Very good. Everyone in this chat is an organist, I guess. Very good. That's what these tutorials are for. Yeah, for organists. Yeah. Next. 1, 2, 4, 2, 5, 6, 5, and 1. Let me show you. So I get back to the real chord structure here, right? C major chord, 1. Second scale degree for 2 chord. In the bass, C, D minor chord in the right hand part. 5, 6, 5. And this is actually taken directly from Bach's opening. Like this. Bach Gounod Ave Maria starts like this. Right? By the way, I just today I did arrangement, an organ solo arrangement of Bach Gounod Ave Maria. Because Osha and I will be playing an organ demonstration for schools children next week, and I wanted to have an arrangement for the organ where the melody is played by the feet with the stop, which is 1 octave higher, like 4-foot clairon or octave 4-foot, yeah. And this works very well with this Ave Maria to demonstrate the melody in the pedals. Hope to demonstrate for you maybe next Friday during on the bench for Vidas session. And that's just a little excursion. All right, let's get back. Excellent. So this opening of Bach is exactly what I'm talking about. Like this. And like any other cadences, it could start from 3 different positions. The first was the third on the top. The second could be an octave on the top, like this. Like this. Very simple. C major chord, second scale degree 4-2 chord, 5-6-5, and 1. Right, exactly. Who is our top fan? Top fan is number 1, Niels, and second is Don, and third is Sean, and the fourth is Jason. Well, welcome. Oh, thank you so much, Sean, for your virtual ticket. It's really appreciated. Very nice, very nice. I believe your position on the leaderboard has just increased. You're number 1. Yeah, you are number 1, and Niels is number 2. Excellent. Now let's continue from this. This is 2-4-2, second scale degree 4-2 chord. 5-6-5 and 1. Do you know what 2-4-2 means? Second scale degree, 7th chord, is built from the note D in C major. And if we take all of those inversions, we get different versions of the same chord. So the first is 7th chord from the second scale degree. This is second scale degree 6-5 chord. This is second scale degree 4-3 chord, and this is second scale degree 4-2 chord. 4-2. Right, so that's exactly what we need in our cadence right here. Starting from the note C, it's built from the first scale degree, but it has second scale degree flavor. So if we start it from this position, G on the top, the closest position for the right hand would be this, but we need to avoid this type of parallel motion in the right hand part, parallel fifths. So I suggest we go downward with the right hand part, like this. Could be this, starting higher. Space between the left hand part and right hand part would be, of course, more than an octave. Usually it's up to 2 octaves, basically. And Jason is getting his associate's degree in music in December. Very nice. And playing for 25 years now. Very nice. Good. And harmony, of course, what I'm teaching right now, it's very useful for degree studies in music as well, because without harmony you cannot create any music. Yeah, harmony is the foundation of any tonal music composition. Or if you don't want to create, you can use these skills that I'm teaching you to understand the already composed musical piece, your repertoire that you're playing, or the hymn that you're playing in church service. Yeah, you can decipher the chords that are being used in those repertoire pieces or hymns with this knowledge. Yeah, like this. So great. How are we doing with time? Do we want to one more? I could teach you one more. For example, I just took a sip of water. For example, starting with C major chord like this, we could go to 6, then to 2, then to 5, and then to 1, like this. We had sort of this similar cadence like before in the previous part last week, but not exactly the same. Maybe I will write it down for myself so that I won't forget. My pencil just dropped on the oh yeah, I found my pencil. Okay, this is cadence number 12. Last time I taught you 7 cadences. Today we started from 8, 9, 10, 11, and today, right now it's 12. So 1, major 1, minor 6, minor 2, major 5, and major 1, of course. So 1, 6, 2, 5, and 1, like this. Let me repeat it. 1, 6, 2, 5, and 1. Starting from E on the top, like this, right? We could do this. 1, 6, 2, 5, and 1. Maybe we could do it 1 octave lower. 1, 6, 2, 5, and 1. Starting with the 5th on the top, it would sound like this. 1, 6, 2, 5, and 1. Nice. Very nice sound. I like it. One more time. 6, 2, and 5. And I have, if you can read it, I have all my notes right here. Right here. Right here. 12 cadences. Yeah. And I could do one more for you. How about number 13? Okay, we can still have a few more. Number 13, I like it to be more of a plagal extension of at the end of the piece. How do you end the piece, right? Not the beginning, not the middle, but ending of the piece would be very nice to have. And usually that's the excursion into the subdominant area, into the F major area, if we are starting in C major. It's from C major to F major and back to C major. Let's see what we can come up here. C major, chord. That's the end of the piece, right? And after this, it's the extension of the piece, like a short coda. Five, 6, 5. 5, 6, 5 of 4 of subdominant. This is subdominant 4. Oh. After the subdominant was a second scale degree 6/5 chord with the 0. It's in harmonic minor with A flat. So 1, 5, 6, 5 of 4. This is second scale degree 6/5 in harmonic major and 1. I will write it down for myself so that I won't forget. 1, 5, 6, 5 of 4, then 4, then minor 2, 6, 5 with the 0 and 1. Very nice. Very nice. So let me show you exactly what I mean in all 3 positions. It's from the note C on top from this. If we can start from this position, it would sound like this. Or 5, 6, 5 of second scale degree 6, 5 in harmonic mode. Like this. One more time. 1, 5, 6, 5 of 4. Harmonic 2, 6, 5. Very nice extension. Like this. This is in our C major prelude by Bach from Well-Tempered Clavier texture. And we could start like this. Maybe let's start 5. 5, 6, 5, 4. And this harmonic 2, 6, 5. 1, 5, 6, 5 or 4. 4. Harmonic 2, 6, 5. And very nice. So basically we have covered all 3 versions here, and I must remind you to practice in various keys. That's crucial if you want to internalize all these harmonic progressions in many different versions, in many different keys. What's the point of only using C major, right? Then you would be great in C major, only in C major, but you would be very, very limited, right? Whenever somebody asks you to play something on the organ, you would only play in C major. How boring would that be, right? At first it's really exciting, but if it's a longer extended play, you're getting limited by the number of chords that you know, and you need to start modulating, and you need to start using different keys. So of course, if you know how to modulate and know how to use the same progressions, we know now 13 progressions, right, in different keys, you can actually play for an hour long piece and without any repetition, without any boredom, because every key sounds different, and every key presents new colors, even though the same chords are being used. Yeah, you just have to know how to modulate from one key to another and go back also. I've recently, not very recently, but at the end of this academic year, every academic year at Vilnius University ends with the big ceremony. It's called Finis Anni Academici, Latin-based fancy term for end of the academic year. And during that year, they have multiple occasions for me to play the organ or orchestra or both. And what we do sometimes, we fill in the gaps, and we provide background music when, let's say, award ceremony is taking place, and we need to play when applause, right, are happening. And no speeches, nothing really important. We just need to provide some background music. And one of the beautiful ways to do this is, of course, to have a chord progression, something like I've been teaching you today, and then use beautiful variations on these chord progressions, like Passacaglia or Chacon, in that form. Ground bass, that's what we call it, right? And I can use it in 5 minutes long, 10 minutes long, yeah, depending on the texture. I can make it exciting or slow, depending on the occasion, right? And another way is, of course, to modulate to another key and to have the same progression there in a new key, and then modulate to an even third key and have the same progression there. So that's one way to expand your piece, but have limited number of chords available, but still have beautiful, exciting, colorful music. So it's very, very useful skill. But you have to practice in many different keys, starting in C major and A minor. Let's say in A minor, not every progression would sound very well, but let's say, for example, the last one, okay, 1 6 5 6 5 of 4 4 and 2 6 5 and then 1. Let's adapt it to A minor. Okay, this is starting point. So this is A minor chord. 5 6 5 of 4 would be this. Oh, that still sounds 4 2 6 5. Oh, that's the difference from the major version. In major, you end in major, but in minor, you also can end on the major key, on the major chord. Remember, in Baroque period, there was this term Picardy third, indicating the major chord at the end of the piece. So in A minor piece, and we end not in A minor, but in A major. That's typical for the typical advanced Baroque, high Baroque period. That Bach was, let's say, representative at the end of it, yeah? So let me show you how it's done in 3 versions in A minor. So 1 5 6 5 of 4 4 2 6 5 major spine. It's a borrowed chord from the major key, from A major. It's related to A minor in a way that we could borrow some chords from the major area of the same, of the related keys as well. So like this. Excellent. And then we could start not here, but here. The third is on the top. 1 5 6 5 or 4 4 2 6 5 and major 1. One more time. 5 6 5 or 4 4 2 6 5. Beautifully sounding progression, I think, at the end of the piece, of any piece. So learn it in many different keys, starting in C major, of course, and A minor. And one more left in A minor to demonstrate, by the way, starting not here, but here. So maybe one octave high, because it's too high. So that would be nice. 1 5 6 5 of 4 4 2 6 5 and major 1. One more time. 1 5 6 5 of 4 4 2 6 5 and major 1. I'm glad that most of these progressions work in minor as well, with some adjustments, you know. Sometimes you need to be a little more creative to adjust it to the minor key. But I'm glad it works, and I'm also very glad that they work in 3 different positions. When the root of the chord is on the top, the third of the chord is on the top, and the third of the chord is on the top. What we didn't cover last time and today is actually 3 more versions of each progression, because you could play 2 voices in the left hand part and 2 in the right hand part in a wide open disposition of voices. Choral, basically choral, not keyboard version, but choral version of the chordal progression. So let me demonstrate the last one. Instead of playing like this, instead of this, we could play this E in the left hand part. You see? Then every voice in the 3 upper voices, soprano, alto, alto, tenor, the distance between them is more than perfect for, yeah, a fifth or more, a fifth, 6th, 7th, even an 8th, an octave. So, like this. Oh, that's even better. Let me do it again. Or this way, if you want to use pedals. I'm using pedals now. Like this. So this is basically very useful material, I think, for everyone who is interested in deeper understanding how the pieces are put together, what's the meaning behind all these chords that you see on the score, yeah, either in repertoire playing or improvisation, or in hymn playing as well, yeah. That could be your step 1 into improvisation and compositional field as well. If you want to go even further, you first need to learn some foundations of harmony. And before that, you need to know the chords, what I'm talking about in simpler terms. I have the chords, it's called, the chord is, it's called the basic chord training, I think, that's, or 7th chord training. You can find it in our Secrets of Organ Playing store. Basically, it's not harmony, it's not playing with 2 hands yet, it's just 1 hand, just understanding the structure of the chords, and after that comes harmony progressions, keyboard harmony that I'm teaching for you today. All right. So, very nice. I am very happy. Maybe one last bonus material today, because last time I taught you 7. Maybe second part could also have 7 progressions, if you let me. All right. So what's gonna be number 14? Number 14. Oh, let's do some dark progression. Starting this C major. That's a little too much. So maybe let's do this. Tonic, 1, lower sixth, subdominant, and tonic, or vice versa. You could do the opposite as well. But I think this downward relationship is better. A flat major chord, F major chord, and tonic. It's also like plagal extension of the piece, because it emphasizes tonic subdominantly, like this, right? Next would be this position, tonic, 1, flat 6, 4, and 1. It's a little jazzy, it's even, I would say, rock, from rock vault. One more time, 1, flat 6, subdominant, and tonic. And the last one, this has the beginning G on the top. 1, flat 6, 4, and 1. One more time. 1, lower 6, flat 6, subdominant, and tonic, 1. Beautiful. So now we had, of course, 7 progressions today. 1, 6, capital 6 with the flat sign, and then 4, major 4, and 1. Oh, that's number 14. Last time we had 7, and now we did 7 as well. So don't forget to practice all of them in keys with up to 3 accidentals, up to 3 sharps and up to 3 flats. In progressing order, advancing order, yeah, 0 accidentals, major, minor, 1 sharp, 1 flat, major, minor, 2 sharps, 2 flats, major, minor, 3 sharps, 3 flats, major and minor. That's very, very useful. All right, guys. Thank you so much for your support, guys. Again, Sean, for your virtual ticket, everyone else who is donating later, who is doing this through Buy Me a Coffee, through channel memberships. And thank you for being team member. Jason, Niels, who else is in our group as a member today? I think Niels and Jason. And also thank you, Don, who buys coffee on Buy Me a Coffee platform. And of course, Don is Total Organist student. And Total Organist students, today, after this training, they get extra training, Trio Sonata training, when I will be teaching the second page of the first Trio Sonata in E flat major. Last time I did number 1 page, first page, and then we'll do all 7 steps to master the second page. So if you are in this circle, join me in a minute or 2 in a live tutorial for our Total Organist community. All right, until then, we can say see you next time with On the Bench with Vidas edition next Friday, and that will be after Aušra's and my trip to Vidas, where we have educational organ demonstration to school children, and also Baltic Reverie organ duet recital there, sort of a double event, back to back at the same day, busy day. But of course you will get to hear the music from our demonstration next Friday during the live stream here on the Bench with Vidas. Stay tuned for this. Thank you. This was fun. I really like spreading the knowledge of harmony to you guys. And hopefully you can do something about that in your own practice and get better at this, and maybe go deeper into the learning curve and improvise later on to using these beautiful chords. Okay, and remember, when you practice, miracles happen.